One more time. Welcome to Championship Week. You, the chosen one. We have it, baby. Welcome to Behind the Lines, episode 21 of season 3. I'm Ron Harlow, Robert Kebs Keeler right here. We're going to get you ready for your championship game. We've got a lot of things to talk about, but let's start with right where we just left off right there. The loss of, the man behind, everybody's favorite video game.
Yeah.
John Madden. All I know is he was a great coach. He was a great commentator, and he was almost like, what do you call it? Like the greeter. I've read a lot of things about him. They said that he always had time for people. He never had a bad thing to say about folks. Everybody has their ups and downs, but what was your thought on him? We won 3 out of 4 games he coached. That's a pretty good stat.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching. He died yesterday, and then they were playing the show they were playing the All Madden show, the documentary, and I was watching a little bit of it. And he got stuck. The Raiders, he was so good a coach, and the Raiders were a good team. But in the 70s, what was the obstacle? The steel curtain. The Pittsburgh Steelers were running around.
Dallas.
In the AFC, you had Miami running around with Don Shula.
Chargers.
The Chargers. Especially the Steelers. They couldn't get past the Steelers.
Nobody could,
The Steelers. And he won a Super Bowl. And they said that he really when Darryl Stingley got hurt, when he got paralyzed by Jack Tatum for the Raiders, paralyzed Stingley, the wide receiver for the New England. And they said it really affected him, and right after that he retired. He just didn't want to be involved with football anymore. And then he went and did the commentary, played the Madden. I played the first Madden on a computer.
You did?
On a computer with a mouse. You had to kind of click and drag the passes with the mouse.
I've only played
before the video gaming systems. Me and my buddy Al were playing the first version of John Madden football.
Wow.
On an Apple computer.
And I am a video game geek. I worked a whole summer to get my Atari when I was a kid. And I've only played a couple of games of Madden in my whole life. I didn't have it. I tried it. I wasn't. It was so like too many buttons for me. Too many buttons.
Played so many games of Madden and so many battles.
I like the quest games. Like I like Resident Evil 4. I like going off and
I
stabbing
like
and punching people. I do too.
I love the sports games.
I do like Beat Saber too. We're gonna talk about that.
Anyway,
all right, let's get to.
Man's gonna be missed. I mean, bigger than life.
How'd you do this week? You got to the.
I made
you did get to the final.
The championship the hard way. I had to.
You had to beat our number one fan.
I had to win the Keeler Bowl.
Yes.
And so I won the Keeler Bowl.
Did she hang out? Or what? She had Mike Evans, so that was tough.
She had Mike Evans.
So that was tough.
She had Brady and
Brady
and Mac Jones kind of let her down a little bit. And like I said, I've had Justin Jackson, Sony Michel, Cooper Kupp as always, Knox. My team is. I got a good team. I got a shot.
Go get them. I am in one championship game, but I played for 2 weeks. I'm down 25-1 because Devontae Parker put up a 0.
Yeah, I don't know how that is possible.
I had Gus to finally sit McLaurin in one, which was the right move.
Right move.
He was 7. He was worth 7. And then I'm up 20 for third place, which is much more money, by the way, in those 2 other leagues. So we're working. We had we'll get to it. Justin Jackson, baby. I was in the lineup 2 times, and I put up James Robinson gave me a 1 in 2 slots again, and I still won. Yeah, we'll get to him too. Well, let's start off with the team of the week, obviously. T. Higgins, high scorer of the week, 43. Joe Burrow throws 525. I was facing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Chase had very little at the half. Yeah. He collected to a monster. Tyler Boyd, a long one for 62. Mixon, 2 touchdowns.
They were running up the score.
Cincinnati never punted.
Because Baltimore last year, if you remember they would try to keep their streak going of 100-yard
rushing
rushing game, so they kept running the ball. They kind of were rubbing their face in it. The Bengals, and then you see what Wink Martindale, nice name,
Right.
defensive coordinator said about Joe Burrow. Let's not start fitting him for a Hall of Fame coach just yet. And I think the Bengals took all that to task, and they were throwing with 10 minutes to go, up 20. They were still throwing.
I was killing me. I actually beat Joe Burrow because I had Dak, but was it anything? I mean, we know the paper team that the Baltimore Ravens are right now.
Oh, their secondary.
They're just they're not good. They're COVID stricken.
Yeah,
they lost Marcus Peters, their number one defensive player, early on in the season. Yep. They've got no quarterback, although
I think literally they lost everybody in their secondary. So, and then, like you said, they played
Josh
Johnson, which
2 tutties though. Mark Andrews is a bulletproof, baby. Unbelievable. But was it anything? Was that win anything? Does this get us closer to the Bengals being a good team? They're 1 win away from the division. Who was saying that? We thought they'd be better.
I think people there's still kind of a wait and see with the Bengals because as you said a couple times,
too many.
Every time you think the Bengals
are
doing it and they're gonna let you down, and there's always this kind of letdown with the Bengals. So this week will be interesting.
Kansas City 6-point dogs at home.
They got the Chiefs, and then they got Cleveland the last game.
They can do that.
Yeah. So
okay, how about the other end? Other end of the spectrum. The Chargers got boat raced by the Houston Texans 9-point dog. Herbert with a garbage touchdown late. A crazy week. A crazy week for me. I was done. I thought I won these games. I had Herbert in. I was facing Allen. I was facing Josh Palmer. I was facing the good matchup, Jared Cook, in 2 leagues. And I got by it because why? Because it was touchdown. Who was that? Justin Jackson. Okay, I'm okay with that. Then, they scored again. Who was it? Justin Jackson again. Oh, no way. And I mean, that I survived that shows how silly this league is.
So silly.
How I just can't.
They could not stop Houston. Houston was pushing around the Chargers. The Chargers should not be a playoff team. I mean,
I don't think so either.
They're not a playoff caliber defense. I mean, they were getting pushed around by Houston. All fourth quarter, Houston controlled the ball, controlled the time of possession. Rex Burkhead was running hard.
Right. Chris Conley, 15 plus. Nico Collins, late touchdown on my bench.
Yeah. But I mean, the Chargers, God bless them, but God bless Herbert. And you would have thought their coach was the defensive coordinator for the Rams last year, so you thought he'd bring, I don't know, whatever acumen to the Chargers to play defense, but maybe you just don't have personnel because they were bad before that game against the run.
Now they're embarrassment.
They went to really bad.
Wow. I don't know what to do with Herbert this week. I'm serious. I do not. It's Denver, right?
Well, always the question is, what are your options and what are your matchups?
I'm going to play Trey Lanez maybe if I get him. Number 3, the waiver saver of the week, top scoring running back, Justin Jackson in my lineup. That's just why I say you should watch the show. One of the best things that I offer to other people is waivers, the waiver pick. And Robert often is there to help sort of bridge that, which order kind of thing. Like, here's what happened last week. I had Ronald Jones number 1. Guess what, Robert? Ronald Jones wasn't available in any of my leagues. So Justin Jackson moved to the top by osmosis, and I got him in 2 leagues.
I had him on keys, obviously.
Big game. Wow.
What happened with me was, in my league, somebody picked up Ronald Jones.
Of course.
I'm not going to get into the boring part.
He's going to have a big game this week.
The boring part of our little budget thing. I have no money left.
Right.
They had money left. They got Ronald Jones, and then somebody picked up Alexander Mattison. So I sat there on Sunday morning going, I need to cover my ass with a running back because I was a little worried about Rashad Penny. I was like, who's available? Oh, there's Justin Jackson.
Wow.
And then I picked him up.
He went first in all 3 of my leagues.
And then they all, like I said, they went Ronald Jones and Madsen.
Yep.
And then I said, I'm going to put him in my lineup. I like the matchup, obviously, against Houston. So
he did it, baby.
He did it.
But how about our super deep cut? Robert, 10 catches, 100-plus yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie. Obviously, he was a plug and play, and probably. What are you going to do this week? Chase it with Gabe and Beasley back?
They said Gabe and Beasley are
I
back.
think Gabe's going to take Sanders' spot no matter what. Sanders is still hurt, but wow, did he show up? And then I had him. I picked him up in one. I didn't play him.
Buffalo played really well.
They wanted to put it on him.
Really well at New England. I should have picked New England. I picked New England to win that game. I should have known Buffalo would split the series for the season. So Josh Allen played really well.
Number 4, I know it was one game, but Dak is back, baby.
All right.
If he can, all right, let me follow me here on the team of Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going.
If he can just maintain not turning it over 2 times a game.
That's always the key to football. Do not turn the ball over.
How could this team not be a tough challenge for the now injury riddled Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Wow, they got.
They would give it. I think they could give Green Bay a game. I think they could give on any given Sunday with the weaponry that the Cowboys have, and Prescott's playing well at a high level with their defense, turning the ball.
They got a Pro Bowler at all 3 levels, not yet, but maybe they're going to have them, right? Parsons going to make it.
Right.
Diggs, and who's their linebacker?
Yeah, they got a bunch of dudes.
But they're good, and they're shutting teams down. I think they're going to be favored in every game they play the rest of the year.
I think so, and I think in the playoffs, I mean, if Evans is banged up and Fournette's still banged up, and the Buccaneers can be beaten. Buccaneers can be beaten this year. I don't think they're world beaters. I don't think Green Bay's a world beater, but it's hard. The thing that Green Bay's going to have, what are they going to have?
The Hall of Famer.
The Hall of Famer, Rodgers playing at a high level, and January up in Green Bay, which is a great home field advantage.
You got that right.
I mean, you put Dallas up there, it's like, ooh. But if you're playing in Dallas, everybody's like, oh, it's a lot better. So, I mean, Dallas, though, can they keep it up? And one game.
Yeah. Well,
streak made.
The D's kept it up, though.
D's been playing well.
When's the last time they lost, though? Dak's playing terrible. They still never lose.
Exactly.
So
you're 100% correct.
They don't lose.
And like you called it. You called their defense early.
Well, we just like the guy. It was like signing Frank Sinatra. We got Trayvon Diggs, about to break the record, right? Let's need one more to break the all-time record for picks in a season.
Yeah.
And they're America's team, so Jones is going to do all he can to make it happen. And defense wins championships anyway. If Zeke was half the man he was at one time, right? They might not have lost the game this year.
I mean, they got a tough team. They got they can throw 4 receivers at you.
Right.
Schultz.
Wilson,
they can throw Wilson at you. They can throw Prescott running the offense.
It was a coup game.
They got 2 running backs. I mean, they got a potent offense. And
that's all you need.
Timely defense. They got a good shot to, do well in the playoffs.
A specific dig to my 4th round pick is a question number 5 of 5. Our last five things of the year.
Last 5 of
Are
5.
all other Baltimore quarterbacks better than Lamar Jackson?
That's a good question. I'm sure John Harbaugh is like, maybe that is true.
2 tutties for Josh Johnson. Mark Andrews open all day long.
Jesus.
And, I mean, again, their defense is forcing them to throw. So fantasy-wise, that's one thing, right? I mean, they were down by a bazillion. Couldn't do their running. They can't run the ball anymore with that defense. So Lamar's going to get smoked. Again, the guy I'm facing, I dropped Lamar Jackson 2 weeks ago. I had enough. We're done. I got Tom Brady. We're riding the storm. And the guy that I faced picked him up, and he picked up Todd Huntley last week. But then, oops, he was forced to play Kirk Cousins against me. Sorry, brother. All right, let's get to the waiver time. Waivers, baby. Like I said, Isaiah McKenzie, I'm not on this week. All right, here's the gosh. I really watch the show. They do their top 3 fantasy picks. All 5 guests. They all had Rex Burkhead number 1. All of them had Rex Burkhead number 1.
Oh,
blow my brains out before I'm going to pick up Rex Burkhead number 1.
Let's chase the best game he had of his
ever
career,
in his whole life.
Probably going back to high school. I mean, who they play this week? Frisco. They're a big
top 40.
They're a big dog.
Top 4 defense. They're not going to run the ball at all.
They're going to be down. When you're down, you're not going to be able to run the ball like they did last week. Last week they were in control of the game. I mean, Burkhead.
I don't even have him on my list, guys. Don't draft him.
I would
like
hope
in this
if you're in the
matchup.
Super Bowl,
Yeah, I mean,
I'd start him.
I've dabbled with some Rex on my team. I play him. I played him 1 week. I think I did.
Yeah.
He dogged. But
Got
let's
like
get to
4 or
my
5 points.
So on the obvious spectrum of who I would have number one against everybody, again, I look at lists. I see who's got what where. Again, I just told you they all got Rex Burkhead. I don't have my list. I'm going with them with the man with the stinger. I'm going Jordan Howard number one this week.
Okay.
I like the matchup. He was averaging
Definitely
like 65 yards a game with Sanders in there.
Definitely a good matchup against Washington.
Washington can't move the ball. Philadelphia's got a stout defense. And you know I got number two? I have Boston Scott number two.
Boston Scott,
I do. Take them both. Get them both. Watch the stinger. I guess it kept him out of some time last year. I read up on it, by the way, because I'm smart enough. I still have Jordan Howard in one league. And picked him up a couple weeks ago when he's available in one.
I got Boston Scott on my keyword.
I think Boston Scott is probably going to. I mean, he's going to get maybe more of the gig, but I trust Jordan Howard's volume if he plays. But there's plenty to go around in this team. That's what's great about this. That's why I have them both 1 and 2. I think they're both playable. That could be a very low scoring.
That could be a touchdown for both of those guys.
And for the record, Gainwell played 2 snaps against them all last week. Forget him. Number 3, I have Josh Palmer. I heard again he was out there 97% of the dropbacks for Herbert. We know it's a tough matchup, but Big Mike Williams is ruled out against Denver.
Right.
What's his name? Is going to be they say shadowing Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, Surtain.
Yeah, you got it.
Patrick Surtain.
Number 2. 29. Yeah, 29 years old. I did read up on him today. We like Josh Palmer. He scored there 1 touchdown late.
I had him on Keeler's Keys, and then I erased him.
But he did score last week.
I'm with you on that. I like him better than Guyton. I think Guyton's if you look at Guyton's targets, he's a 3-4 target guy, kind of a deep shot guy. You could see Palmer was more of a slot receiver working with Allen. Like you said, they're gonna probably decoy Allen and pull away Surtain and work Palmer and Cook down in the middle of the field. So.
Love it. This is one of Robert's number 1 week 1 sleeper picks, Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I remember.
I do.
Talking about him in training.
I have him on my team. I played him in one league, Rob. I played him last week.
In a while.
Yeah, but I don't forget. It's still the wheels. Yeah. Number 4 I have is MVS still out there? He's available in one of my leagues.
He's available in my leagues. Yeah, I mean.
COVID got him.
And Lazard scored, which I started laughing.
I played Lazard too, thanks to you, right? Yeah, we talked that one through.
And you said, who should I play?
Thanks for not texting me, by the way, because I was way late to get into that game. Because I wouldn't have seen it. I watched it not live.
Yeah, it was cool.
He should have had 2. Lazard should have had 2 there.
I saw MVS. He's on all my waiver lists.
I think he's a deep threat. He's averaging like 9 targets a game.
Question is, are these guys coming back?
Right.
When are these guys coming back?
Let's
are they going to play this week?
That. That's a good segue. Did you read the post about NFL changing the protocols to 5 days
instead of 10?
There's no symptoms, and they can self-report. These guys are dying to get. They may end up murdering the entire NFL right here. I don't get it, but it is. But they
could end up. They really could end up sabotaging the playoffs.
Yes.
I mean, you think about the last week of the season, and you're going to be playing all these teams who don't give 2 poops about the playoffs because they're not in the playoffs. So you really think you're going to be following protocol and we got to be ready for the playoffs and we can't get sick if you're playing the Jets or whomever. And then you're going to play, and then what happens? Your team gets infected, and then how is it going to affect your playoffs? I mean, the NFL.
And these guys breathe heavy. These guys are fat. Have you seen Akeem Hicks? These guys they're sweating. I mean, they can pass it easy.
I think the NFL kind of bowed to the owners and bowed to the teams because they were complaining that there wasn't a competitiveness to the current with the 10 days because, playoff spots are still in doubt and there's a lot of players not being able to play. So I think they got a lot of pressure. Let the players decide the playoff spots. Let play these players, but at what cost? It's like rolling dice, right? The NFL is rolling dice that they're not going to have a huge outbreak and it's not going to be really bad for the playoffs. But imagine the playoffs if like Patrick Mahomes, Brady, all the quarterbacks can't play.
Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, is it really get? It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly.
Let's hope you're not right. You're a smart man. Let's hope you're not right.
I was rolling the dice.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Next up, we got the man filling back in, KJ Osborne. I had guys drop. I mean, even
I got him on keys.
He's not a big guy, but he is a strong man. He's a quick man. He can separate.
Well, now Thielen's out.
Yeah, he's out. He
He's
can do
an
that good
ending
hand
surgery.
fighting. I'd say it's all dependent on the weather in Green Bay, right? This is a Green Bay
Depending on
game.
the weather,
Same with MVS.
Yeah.
But this team's going to be a little, as Robert would say, maybe a little shootouty.
It's gonna be a little shootouty. I mean, you're gonna
Divisional game.
teams are starting to when Thielen really went out. Teams starting to pay attention to Justin Jefferson, right? They're not just gonna go, well, there's Justin Jefferson. So I think Osborne really works. I'll talk about a little under Keeler's keys, but
Right on.
three of the last 4 weeks when Thielen was out, KJ Osborne was a top 20 receiver.
I played him 2 of those
Think
weeks.
about that.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and he caught a 50-yard touchdown the one time.
Right.
He didn't need to get a whole bunch. I mean, Justin Jefferson is still getting his 12 targets.
He's still gonna
Remember
get
that
it.
one game I faced?
Yeah.
Two guys I faced 25 targets in one game. Sickening. All right, here's the so long. We're gonna have to say maybe goodbye. I'm not kidding you.
Say goodbye to
James Robinson's career is most definitely in
that poor
jeopardy.
guy.
Torn Achilles.
Undrafted free agent.
I love him to death.
Finally gets his opportunity, then the Achilles, which is a
Terrible injury.
terrible
to recover.
injury for
He
a
may
running
not
back.
walk. He may not walk regularly ever again. That's what took Joe Theismann out.
And the snap fibula.
Yeah.
But,
Wait, no. Who was the other one? Somebody got it. Achilles.
the Achilles is tough. I don't remember who, but and the only experience I have, my good friend Mark had a Achilles, and like 9-10 months later, he's like, it still hurts. He was still limping. He was still recovering, and he's not a world class athlete, but he is a good athlete. It's a tough recovery.
And that's the thing. Jacksonville's not going to have the time to sort of invest in this guy. I think again, if he does anything, he'll be done in Jacksonville. Travis Etienne is due. They're going to invest all they can into this guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever got the respect that he did make the Pro Bowl first year in. So
just weird. He just
that's the guy I got. I can't. Let's see if I can get it right. Dure Ugubawale. Toughest matchup, right? Terrible matchup.
They're playing the Tampa, right?
Yes, a pass funnel team.
Yeah.
He did have 17 touches. Here's the good thing: his floor could be all right
They're playing
because
New England.
even tougher D.
Yeah. At New England, it's a tough matchup.
The underlying deal is he was considered the pass catching back. So if they get under, there's nobody there for us. I would say 4 or 5 catches minimum.
Yeah.
He can do that for 8 yards like some of these guys do, right?
I mean, in PPR league, if you needed a second running back, I'd definitely take him over Burkhead.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's you're chasing a fantasy with Burkhead.
I got a guy
chasing it.
no one's talking about next. Nobody's talking about next. Brashard Perriman.
Huh?
Due-back, filling in for Chris Evans. Ty
Yeah.
Johnson out there a whole game, 0 targets.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is desperate for big. Brashard Perriman's big. He's tall, big guy. They're desperate for wide receivers. They can't. Antonio Brown is not capable of doing 10 catches again.
They were funneling to him and the tight ends, and they were running the ball. That's why Brady really didn't have a huge game.
No.
He didn't have anybody
Gronk
else
didn't
to
have a
stretch
good
the
game.
ball. No, they did. Perriman definitely can have a good
I think he's
role
gonna have a
with that
good.
team.
It's the Jets, baby.
Jets defense.
I'm gonna guarantee a Brashard Perriman touchdown.
Let me write that down.
All right, I like him. All right, here's a guy. I think he made one list this year, but you know what? He's made some noise. Braxton Barrios.
Oh my God, that guy's feisty.
He is feisty. He's their kick returner. Ran one back for a touchdown even last week.
Feisty little guy.
27% target share without Crowder last week.
Every time he catches the ball, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you see what I did?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Whoa, dude."
Crowder's still questionable.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's a funnel. They got to throw it to even
They're gonna
stay
have to
in it.
throw the ball. Yes.
I heard something. There's some buzz about Elijah Moore.
They say he's 50-50 to play. Is there really a reason to push him? And we've seen all these guys come in. They said when guys come back from COVID or injuries.
Ty Hill. I still won without Ty Hill, dude.
They're not the same. I mean, they just don't get the volume. They said a lot of guys who come back from off the COVID list.
They're tired.
They're tired. They're weak, and they haven't been really,
pushing the juice.
Pushing the juice, so they don't get a lot of play. I don't know about Elijah Moore. There's a real reason to push. I like Barrios. He's a feisty little guy.
Here's a guy I dropped in all my leagues, but now he's a full-time player again, basically. Bateman out there. I have him this low on the list for one reason. 2 weeks ago when Huntley was in there, he was out there the whole game, too. He had one catch for 5 yards. Yeah. Huntley could have just sort of caught Green Bay napping there. They were down big. They're probably down big again, but I don't know if I'm trusting Rashad Bateman. I did face him in one league, which isn't bad.
Well, the thing is, and it gets back to what you mentioned earlier in the show, Lamar Jackson's practicing again.
Yeah,
so
that could be
back
more
to
trouble.
his pop gun.
Yeah, right. Run around.
Yeah,
he's got
action is no good. I think Baltimore, especially their fans and probably their coaches, the front office maybe got to go.
Are ready to move on. I think.
Are we gonna give this man a huge long-term contract, or are there different options?
Yeah, $300 million or something. That's crazy.
It's insane.
All right. Right here.
Open. What's up?
I was going to talk about Kadarius Toney, but he's got a shoulder injury now, and he's out. Forget him. How about Cam Akers? Cam Akers?
Yeah, they said they might give him some play.
I don't know what to do with this. I don't know where to put him.
It'll come back slow. I mean, he's coming back from a torn ACL.
And trying to break the record for comeback too. It's definitely. It was week. It was like week 1 of preseason, right? It was spring training.
It was right in August, late July, early August. So August, September, October.
His only path to a big game is if Sonny Michel gets
there is not going to be a big game.
I don't think so either. And again, I'm a no on Burkhead.
The Rams are thinking more about real life, not us fantasy goofs. In that they want to get Akers in kind of game condition the last couple of games, so he's ready to help them in the playoffs. Especially if Henderson's doing Henderson things, which he's always baked up.
On the IR.
Right. So they know they're going to need Akers to be ready for that playoff push, not this week against the who the hell are they playing? I don't even know. The Rams are playing
Baltimore.
So on paper you go, the Rams really need him? No. But they're going to try and get him in game shape. So
that's all the guys I got there. I mean, you could grab yourself a Nico Collins or a Conley, throw a dart.
Or if you see Ron said the Lazard MVS thing.
Yeah, one of those is not bad. Tight end wise, you know what? I faced Travis Kelce last week. I should have. He took some out. He picks up an hour. He picked up freaking Everett. 16-point against me. I covered it though. Schultz had 20 again. I covered it. Schultz, baby.
Schultz been playing.
Everett's got 5.5 catches average since the week 6 bye.
Yeah.
Austin, or not Austin. Is it Austin Hooper?
He was my deep sleeper before the season started.
Yeah, he was. And I
kept saying how they were talking him up in Seattle.
And it's not DK, obviously.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you something about DK. And then I really haven't analyzed the Seattle game.
It's hard to. It's so boring.
Yeah, I don't have any stake in any of their players. I haven't really been watching Seattle. So finally, I watched a little bit of Seattle because they were playing the Bears.
And they blew it. Bears won.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm no genius. And some people say I may be. Some people say I may not. I'm going to say I'm not. The point is, my eyes don't deceive me. I don't think DJ Metcalf's ever going to be a superstar receiver.
Wow.
I think you watch the games, when he's covered, he ain't working to keep working. He's like, F it, I'm covered. I'm out of the play.
Oh.
Or the play isn't really called for him. You can tell
because there's a lot of this sort of chopping around with arms and stuff.
And there's plays you're the decoy, right? You're supposed to run the defense. They chase me this way, and something's supposed to happen on the backside. He never keeps working. He never comes back to the ball. He never helps his quarterback. Because you look at him, and you're like, what? He's a man among boys, a specimen.
He's Kyle Pitts out wide.
And then you go look at his stats, and you're like,
5 for 50.
Why isn't he more? Why isn't he the star? I mean, they got him locked in Everett to throw the ball to. Why isn't he a star? Why isn't he going to Pro Bowl this year? When you watch the game, and I was watching it, I tried to keep my eyes on him, especially when they were playing the Bears. And you just see he doesn't work. I don't know if he's a great route runner either. I think he's a great athlete playing wide receiver. But you got to be a great. What do you got to do to be great? You got to keep work.
Stay humble.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Especially in broken plays. Play breaks down. You got to keep working for your quarterback, and you got to run your routes. You got to be a great route runner to be. You give me any top receiver. Give me a Randy. Well, Randy Moss is a physical specimen. Jerry Rice, Cooper Kupp this year. You look at Cooper Kupp, how he works the field. Stafford knows where Kupp's going to be. I watch Metcalf, and I'm like, maybe he's just not going to be the star.
Or he's lazy this year. He played a little harder last year. We ran down that guy last year for like 80 yards.
Yeah, all right. That was one play.
One play. It was amazing.
Absolutely. But I watched Metcalf, and I'm wary about drafting this man. I don't think he's ever going to be the statistical star that we think he can be.
He's not even a wide receiver 3 this year.
He's not even a wide receiver 3. I'll get off my soapbox. Go.
Back to tight ends. Austin Hooper also 5.5 targets per game the last
he's
2.
Been playing well.
All right, my deep cut this week. Somebody you ain't never heard of. Daniel Bloom. And I actually do improv with a guy named Daniel Bloom.
Who the hell is Daniel Bloom?
I know. He is literally the last tight end on the Jets roster alive. There's no one else to find. No Dave, right? What do they let? No Davis, no Moore, no Crowder,
they got nothing.
no Herndon.
I'll give you that.
Nothing. So
That's a deep cut.
Tampa Bay is a pass funnel offense. If they're going to move the ball,
that's true.
I'm gonna try to find a deep cut like that. Hey,
that is a deep
we're
cut.
1 for 1.
I'll admit, I do not have him on my list.
All right, got you. All right, now it's time for your list. It's time for our final.
Oh my God.
Keeler's Keys list is my final intro for season 3. Hopefully, we'll be in bigger and better digs next year. Let us know if you want us at your place for parties afterwards. We travel well. We clean up after ourselves. We clean up before we go. We'll be there. But this is Keeler's Keys, a great segment where Robert, that's right, will pick out 2 players from each position who are going to exceed their average weekly output this week based on matchup or opportunity. Take it away.
All right. We're going to jump right into quarterback position. We're going to start with David Mills, ranked 21st this week. He's playing Frisco. I mean, this guy, you look at what he's been doing. He's really not surrounded by a huge amount of talent. But week 14, he was the 15th ranked quarterback. Week 15, he was 13th, and last week he was the 10th ranked quarterback.
Yep.
I mean,
against the
Chargers. Last week, 254, 2 touchdowns. Really didn't have to throw much in the fourth quarter because they just kept running, and the Chargers couldn't stop them. And then you got Brandon Cook coming back this week. He plays Frisco. Now, Frisco's they've allowed the 8th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So, even though they're 7th in allowing yardage, they've allowed 23 touchdowns in 15 games. Frisco, you could throw the ball. I don't think like we talked about earlier in the show, I don't think Rex Burkhead's going to run the ball. So it's going to be David Mills. I mean, he's thrown 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games, and he threw for 3 weeks ago. He threw for 331 and a touchdown. He's been very efficient. Ranked 21st, should be inside the top 20. It's another case of I can't believe what I'm seeing, and a lot of people sleeping on David Mills.
I like it.
My next guy, and then I'm going to give you an interesting stat. Why? I like Mac Jones this week, ranked 20th against Jacksonville. Now you say, Mac Jones? I saw Mac Jones play last week. He did not play well. This is true. Can't deny it. I'm going to give you the last 6 weeks, Mac Jones, all right, where he ranked as quarterback. As he finished as a fantasy quarterback, okay?
Okay.
6 weeks ago, he was 5th. All right? Here, we're gonna do our hands. He was 5th. 5 weeks ago, he was 19th. 4 weeks ago, he was 7th.
Uh-oh.
3 weeks ago, he was 29th.
I know it's a trend.
2 weeks ago, he was 9th. Last week, he was 30th. You see where this is going? It literally is an every other week thing with Mac Jones. I don't know. You explain it to me. I cannot. Is it matchup based? Is it luck?
Buffalo's Bills D is probably better than most D's.
And he's played them 2 of the last 3 weeks. This week he's playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've allowed 20 touchdown passes in 15 games. They're 13th against the pass, 230 yards through the air. I think it's a pass attack. They're 15-point favorites against Jacksonville. I think Mac Jones throws at least 2 touchdowns, about 250 yards, finishes inside the top 20, which is the trend. 5, 19, 7, 29, 9, 30. I think we got to, yeah. According to this, he'd be a top 10 quarterback this week, but we'll take inside the top 20.
Yeah, Jacksonville is, that's not even a football team.
They're going home. They're thinking about home. And at running back, ranked 33rd this week, Boston Scott versus Washington. We know Miles Sanders got the broken hand. Jordan Howard, he's got the stinger. He's questionable. Last week against Giants, he was 12 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown. The Washington were kind of respectable against the run, only allowing 140 yards rushing per game. They're 8th, 4.2 yards per carry, but we're looking at Philadelphia. What does Philadelphia do? They run the ball.
45 a game.
They run the ball. It's Boston, like we talked about. You could probably play Boston Scott and Howard, and probably Howard if you check on the stinger. But I think there's a good chance both of these guys get in the end zone this week. I like Boston Scott. I saw him on waivers. And then my second running back, I liked him. I liked what I saw, guys. Derek Gore. Playing the Bengals for the Chiefs. He's ranked 46th. CEH is out. He's sidelined. Darrell Williams. I like Gore better than Williams. If you watch the game, Gore just looked a little bit more explosive. I mean, Williams had a long run that made his stats look a little bit more solid. But against Pittsburgh, Gore, week 16, 12 carries, 43 yards, 3 targets, 3 catches for 61 yards. The Bengals got a decent run defense, but they've allowed 12 touchdowns in 15 games. I think the Chiefs are going to split CEH in half with Gore and Williams. I think you can play either one. I like Gore. I think he's a little bit more dynamic than Williams. Dude, it's fresh.
We talked about him when we showed that one game.
We talked about that one game.
He looked really strong.
You watched him last week against Pittsburgh. Like, if you looked at the 2 running backs, you're like, that Gore guy looks a lot better.
I got you.
So, that's what we're looking at. He's ranked 46 this week. Speaking of 46, wide receiver, ranked 46 this week. Don't understand why. KJ Osborne versus Green Bay. I don't know why he's ranked so low. I don't know if they thought Thielen was going to come back and they didn't update things, but no way KJ Osborne should be the 46th ranked wide receiver, but that's what I saw last week against the Rams. Week 16, 7 targets, 5 for 68 and a touchdown. Like I said, the last 4 weeks he's played without Thielen being hurt. He's ranked 18th overall in wide receivers. Points, 11th, 72, and 14th. So he's ranked inside the top 20. 3 of the last 4 weeks with Thielen out. We know Thielen's had surgery. I like KJ Osborne. Like I said, it's getting a little shootout-y. You know, Green Bay and Minnesota, both teams going to probably be in the high 20s. You know, at least maybe touching 30s. KJ Osborne probably looking at least the line that he looked at last week, if not a little bit more. And the other wide receiver I like, I'm going to tie him with Mac Jones. Jacoby Myers.
He's available.
You say, what?
He's available
He's
these
ranked
days.
42nd. He's ranked 42nd overall in wide receiver rankings. Now listen, they're playing Jacksonville, which we know bad at defense. Let me go. Mull over the Myers.
One more stat there?
It's a little statty. Week 12, 8 targets, 5 for 98. He didn't play week 13. Week 14 was their bye. Week 15 against the Colts, 12 targets, 644, and a touchdown. Week 16 against Buffalo, 8 targets, 6 for 59. Myers has been kind of sneaky. I mean, we haven't been paying attention. He's been playing pretty well. He's actually kind of pushed Bourne aside, and it's kind of him and Hunter Henry. So I like Myers this week. I like him against Jacksonville. I think Mac Jones is going to be throwing the ball. It's an odd week for Mac Jones. He's going to hopefully do well. And I think Jacoby Myers, like I said, on waivers, you could certainly do a lot worse in your flex position.
Rock and roll.
And tight end, we're going to hammer the worst. That's what we're doing at tight end.
Again? Who is it? Must be Philadelphia in town.
Philadelphia's been passed up.
Oh,
There's a new sheriff in town.
Oh.
So, we'll start with our friend, Noah Fant. Denver, ranked 12th. He's going to be inside the top 10. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you why. He's playing the Chargers. How many teams are in the NFL, Ron?
32.
The LA Chargers ranked 32nd in fantasy points allowed to the tight end. They passed our friends Philadelphia. So now they're at 14.3 fantasy points allowed.
That's plenty.
It's 32nd. They're tied for 32nd in touchdowns allowed at 12. They've allowed 12 touchdowns to the tight ends in 15 games. They're 31st in total yards to tight ends at 1,001. The Chargers cannot stop the run. They can't stop tight ends. Except that they're all right. So I like Noah Fant. When you're playing the 32nd ranked team against tight ends,
get him in there.
You go with that statistic. And then we're going to go to the mysterious island of Foster Moreau.
Oh, my.
Ranked 19th this week, Ron. Week 15, he went 9 targets, 7 for 65. Last week against Denver, 4 targets, 4 for 47. Listen, he's playing the Colts. Our friends, the Colts, have moved up in the rankings of allowing tight ends. They're 30th at fantasy points allowed per game for tight ends.
It's because you can't throw the wides against them. They
can't throw the wides, so you work the middle of the field. They're allowing 13.4. They are the worst in terms of yardage to tight ends at 30. They're ranked 32nd at 1,004 yards, and they're tied for 32nd in receptions to tight ends at 98, which averages out to 6.5. So there's a good chance Foster Moreau gets at least 6 catches this week. If Waller doesn't play, which it doesn't look like he's going to play, which I don't understand why.
He went on COVID today.
Yeah, Waller's never around.
That's
so it's
weird.
It's the island of Moreau. I still think there's more to that story to meet CI. They're not telling us about Waller. But anyway, we'll hope all the best for him. But this week, it's the island of Dr. Foster Moreau against the Colts. Colts bad against tight end. Chargers bad against tight end.
Wentz on COVID. So
Wentz is on COVID.
There might be a few possessions there, maybe.
Yeah.
Who's their backup? Parsons?
Some dude. I don't
Oh,
know.
what
Who's
was his
their
name?
backup?
We talked about him.
Oh, yeah. He was going to
one
start
time.
the season. It's not Brissett because Brissett left.
Right on. Well, hey, a great season of Keeler Skis. We're going to head off to our sponsors real quick. We'll be right back with some streamers. Get into the gaming, and boy, let's get one more wagers. The only way we go under 500, Robert, is if we lose all 6. And since I don't pick them all, we have a chance.
We are not going to be under. Trust me, we're not going to be under 500 or 500.
Let's do it, baby.
All right.
Here's our friends with Springer. Check them out.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Baxter Printing is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake County, Indiana for over 50 years. They specialize in commercial and political printing like brochures, mailings, banners, and signs. Now located at 311 North Broad Street in Griffith, the folks at Baxter know how to get your job done right and on time. Call 219-923-1999 or visit us at BaxterPrint.com and see what Baxter Printing can do for you.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811. Face it, when it comes to buying a home, you want a local mortgage lender who has the answers when you need them. In this fast-paced housing market, when is now. And your lender is Christine Reiser from Loan Depot. Her years of well-rounded experience, including time as a realtor, will put your stress to rest. Call Christine Reiser at 219-789-8313. Christine is available days, nights, and weekends to take you from pre-approval to loan closing. For a conventional mortgage, FHA, VA, USDA, or if you need help with down payment assistance programs, she's got you covered. Dial 219-789-8313 if you're looking to buy a home in Indiana, Illinois, or Arizona. Let Christine Reiser and Loan Depot be your guide. NMLS number 1447958.
Yeah, that's why you would go there. You have to go. Hey, we just saw a Taco Bell commercial. Ryan doesn't eat that. I don't eat that. I am done with that food. Good reason why. I just say it. Hey, you want to eat Taco Bell? Knock yourself out. There's Mexican food is all reasonably priced. So why not buy the goods from the you know what I mean? From a place you know is making it right there versus food that comes out of a meat hose. It's a big thing for me. All right, let's get into a couple streamers, and then Robert and I'll break down the.
This means Taco Bell's never going to be a sponsor.
All right, take it all back. I'll be the next Chihuahua. Something, anything. I think as a nation we can do better in some of these areas.
I think so too.
Streamers, D's, right out of the bat. How about San Fran? Again, their fourth total defense. I know that the Chargers gave up 41 to Houston. I don't think San Fran will let that happen. We like them this week. Robert and I are both going to play Philadelphia over Washington. Yeah. You saw what Dallas did to them last week. Heineke's got that Sam Darnold look, Robert.
Yeah,
a bit of a Sam Darnold look.
I mean, you gotta get into a trend, right? There's a streak going. Washington, like the last month or month plus, just have not looked good on offense. So you got to roll.
You do it. All right. Who else I got? Bears against the Giants. Giants give up the sixth most points of defense. How about this stat?
Bad quarterback.
With Barkley, with Galladay in the lineup, they've actually gotten worse as a team. They're scoring less points per game, and they never win.
They're bad.
So that's your streamers. There's a couple more if you want to look. I'm not saying the Chargers. I'm not saying Seattle either. No way. Quarterback, here's one that you should – I didn't put in the waivers, but if you need one, Trey Lanez might be moving up your list. He has run – a running play on 20%, 25% of all his plays. I think the low is, or what do you call it, the floor on him is probably going to be 70 yards rushing. So you get a free touchdown right there on his rushing. We got Kittle. You got Brandon Ayuk and Debo. Where are we at with Elijah Mitchell? Limited today. And Jeff Wilson's not inspiring, even though he plays hard. Yeah. I don't know. I think 20 points is pretty fair amounts.
I think you're looking at
Trey Lanez.
Trey Lanez in two quarterback league. You need to put him in.
If you need a quarterback, aka you have Lamar, go get him right now.
Or you got Garoppolo.
Yeah, but
a lot of people have been riding Garoppolo. You know, he's been pretty good until last week.
Yeah, I heard it broke his hand.
He hurts, man. He effed his hand, a thumb up.
All right, how about Tua versus Tennessee's run funnel pass funnel offense? Tua, last 4 games, he's averaging 75% completion rate. Jalen Waddle is the next Jerry Rice. He was
Real deal.
He was the only player on the field.
Yep.
He was literally throwing the ball to himself. I couldn't watch. I'm saying all this because of Devontae Parker. I was like, that's number 11. No, it's a 7. It's a 7. It's a 7.
I don't know where Devontae Parker went last week.
It was never 11. He was out there the whole game, they said.
Yeah, he just didn't throw
I
the
don't know,
ball.
man.
I don't know.
How about Nick Foles? And I say Nick Foles because I know it's crazy. The Giants. Here's the stat time.
That time.
Giants are averaging 28 points a game for the last 4 weeks. They are done as if they've given up as a team. Nagy's playing for his life. They played him into he was supposed to get fired on Monday, right? And he made it through with a 1-point win. If he doesn't make the 2-pointer, does he get fired?
No.
Wow.
See, the thing is, the NFL's playing up this whole. Before you couldn't interview the coaches until after the season, especially if you're in the playoffs. Now you can do an interview within 2 weeks of the season ending, but there's still limitations on the interview process. It ain't just all willy-nilly like you do after the season. And you have to have your head coach not in position. So there's only 2 teams, Jacksonville and the Raiders, who could technically do it right now. So the thought was that some of the teams would get rid of the coach and start the process, but the process still is limited. So it's not like it would be after the season. I think a lot of teams aren't going to take advantage of this new process and just wait. I think Nagy makes it through the season, and then on Black Monday, which is the Monday right after the season ended, he'll be let go.
I'm okay with it. I am. Again,
there's no way they're keeping
no
Nagy.
creative. There's
no
nothing.
Way.
I didn't see Did you see a fake punt? I saw nothing, but again, run straight up the middle, and it never worked.
Yeah, he's not very. His offense
Boring.
for a guy who came over from Kansas City was supposed to be the next offensive guru, and it's very unimaginative offense. I don't know. Doesn't do much for me.
Well, let's start off with Let's start off our game by game analysis, Robert, with the hometown boys sporting the lowest over/under of the week at 37.
Yeah.
It's the Bears against the Giants. I'm not playing anyone on the Giants. If you have Barkley, you're not watching this.
No.
You're done.
Yeah, you're not in your Super Bowl.
You're gonna play your
No
Montgomery.
way.
Montgomery's been solid. Mooney. How about Cole Kmet this week? He's turned into a target guy, but boy, that touchdown is just not gonna come.
They tried to give him a touchdown last
They
week.
didn't.
He was a couple of shots in the end zone. He just couldn't get in. And of course, Nick Foles missed him, but I think you could play. I think you could play Kmet this week if you have to.
Right on. All right, moving on. Better games. Rams at Baltimore. What happened to Matthew Stafford last week?
He
What was that all
He
about?
played bad football. He threw a couple bad picks. He threw a couple bad picks. I'm sure the man would go, yes, I threw a couple bad picks. They could have easily won that game by more points. They were dominating the game with Michelle and Cooper Kupp, and I think
not Van Jefferson and not
not
Odell.
Van Jefferson and Odell. I think the Rams though. I think it's a get better game against a bad defense.
I agree. Get them all in there.
There you go.
Sony Michelle, maybe not Akers. I don't know if Van Jefferson's been. Gosh, his targets have been way down.
His targets are down with Higbee's back. They've been force feeding the ball to Odell.
Right on. On the other side of the ball, Baltimore is sporting, certainly a top 20 wideout in Marquise Brown and the number 1 tight end, no doubt.
God.
But that's it. I'm not playing anybody else there because
I hope Lamar comes back. You know what? I hope he comes back because I'm playing Mark Andrews in the Super Bowl, and I want Lamar back.
Right, yeah. He'll only have 1 touchdown instead of 3.
Exactly.
I got you. Right on. All right, Vegas at Indianapolis. What's going on with the Vegas running game? Josh Jacobs where would you put him in, on ever wanting to draft him in your life? I've never drafted him ever.
I mean,
have you?
No, I have not.
Me either.
He's just played better. I mean, the Vegas has been running the ball a little better, and
they keep covering too. You keep taking them.
I can't. I don't know how. Cards were a really bad pick last week, and luckily they won the game. Tried to throw a screen pass. It was like 3 or 4 screen passes last week intercepted. Very strange.
We're all over Foster Moreau, Hunter Renfrow.
Like
for a bounce back.
Look for the island of Moreau.
I like it. What do you think on that? What do you think on the Colts side? Wentz is out. Could be back. Jonathan Taylor, got new. You said he got knocked out in your league. I mean, Jonathan Taylor getting knocked out. He's had 2 stickers in a row where he didn't. He got,
he's left people hanging.
Not big games, baby. What do you think of Pittman?
I don't like. Well, I mean, if you're in the Super Bowl, I guess you got to play him if you in your flex. But I'm not big on any of the Colts this week, especially when you get the downgrade at the quarterback position.
Right, and they're trying to talk me into talking to you about Mo Alley Cox because Jack Doyle's hurt. But
yeah,
I'm not going to do it. No. I won't do it. All right, Tampa Bay at the Jets, -13 on the road. Yeah. Jets coming off a win, right? And Tampa's got some issues, guys. We've got backup running backs. We've got backup wideouts. We got Cameron Brake catching the touchdown instead of Gronk. I don't know what you're doing with him, but again, I like my sleeper there is Brashard Perriman and not Keyshawn Vaughn.
Well, I think the Carolina last week was a weird game against Carolina. They were in control of the game, but they weren't really offensively clicking. But they were in control of the game because Carolina was so bad on offense.
They are so bad.
They were really bad. Sam Darnold was bad. Cam Newton threw a god-awful pick. I think that this is another get back kind of game for the offense, Tampa.
They need to figure.
They'll figure things out. They'll get things kind of rolling towards the playoffs. I mean, the Jet defense, they're not good.
And they want Tom Brady to get right. And this is that kind of game.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out what he's got with these new guys that are going to be key parts of their playoff run.
Mike Evans is not going to play. Yeah. Godwin's not going to play, so it'll be, like you said, it'll be Perriman, Brown, Gronk, Ronald Jones. We had a Keyshawn Vaughn sighting.
Yeah, nice run.
Nice little scamper.
On the Jets side of the ball, you still on the Michael Carter this week or no? Still splitting, but he didn't have.
My guess is if you're in the Super Bowl, you're not playing Michael Carter. Right. But I mean, you play him this week. I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup because, a lot of teams just give up on the run immediately playing Tampa. They don't even try to run the ball. They're like, screw it. I think Tampa's gotten this reputation where it just scares people into not running the ball. So I don't think you're going to see a high volume for Carter running the ball, but hopefully he gets back in the. They said they were taking it a little easy with his snap count and his kind of route running last week because it was his first game back from the injury. So this week you should probably get back to that pre-injury kind of volume on Carter. Get back in the passing game a little bit. So.
Right, and we like Braxton Barrios as our sleeper there.
Barrios.
Atlanta at Buffalo. I'm sitting Kyle Pitts this week. Buffalo haven't offered it 65 yards yet this season to any tight end.
They've been a tough pass defense. They're the top. They're number one against the pass. They're number one in yardage a lot. Not allowing yards to tight ends and wide receivers. I mean, it's definitely a tough matchup for Gage, Pitts, even Cordell Patterson.
There's some dude. He who must not be named actually had more snaps and one more snap and one more carry than Cordell Patterson.
Yeah,
because we couldn't remember in this season we thought he must not be named. We thought he was going to be good. We did.
Well, I think Cordell. I think we've seen.
You can say his name. I won't.
Mike Davis.
Yeah, well,
I think you're seeing with Cordell Patterson what you kind of expect. You see it kind of with Debo Samuel with Frisco. You just can't keep pounding these guys into the line of scrimmage who aren't built to go into the line of scrimmage.
Right.
I mean, obviously Patterson still productive, but has slowed down from that pace that he was going right in the top of that in the season. And I think it just gets back to what size they are. You can't just keep running them 15 times into the line of scrimmage.
I think, I'm going to try to find anything I can do to try to not play Cordell Patterson this week, and I'm not kidding.
It's a tough matchup.
14-point dogs, 44 over under. They're like.
And Matt Ryan could be running. He's tiring out too. He looked kind of. I don't even know how they beat Detroit last week. Detroit was driving. They had a first down inside the 10-yard line, down 4, and then Tim Boyle.
Why did they kick the field goal, by the way? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I can't explain Dan Campbell's thinking. And Tim Boyle threw a god awful pick there inside the 10-yard line. Detroit could have easily won that game.
What was I talking about?
Atlanta. Go play Pitt.
I read a really good article that says that Atlanta's going to cover and maybe have a chance for the upset.
What?
I thought it was an interesting article. But I
Who wrote this article?
I don't remember.
All right. It doesn't matter who wrote it. I mean, it's a little loony.
Right, Russell Gage. Russell Gage.
If they watch Matt Ryan play football?
Yeah, well, he was the MVP once.
Yeah, but that was when he wasn't 36
30
years
years
old.
ago.
And 200 sacks ago. Yeah. Atlanta's not going to win this week.
No way. All right, on the other side, I'm trusting Diggs, Singletary. Yeah. I want to play Gabe Davis, but you know what? I mean,
coming back.
I'd like to ask him how he felt all week. Hey, how you doing, Gabe?
Once again, these games where these guys come back,
they
never get the high volume snaps. They take it easy with them. So I don't know if he's going to have the volume.
So keep Isaiah McKenzie, Darda McKenzie maybe?
Yeah,
but they're all right. Then there are three guys. Three guys or one guy, right?
Splitting.
Yeah, all right.
I like Knox, Singletary, Diggs.
All right, moving on. Kansas City, here we come.
Played an interesting game. Man, they put it on Pittsburgh.
We did discuss Byron Pringle last week.
We talked about Pringle
over all the other guys.
We talked about
But
Pringle.
then Ty Hill was going to play and everything. Oh, he's a top 3 guy. What's saying he's a 10? I don't know.
Well, they're doing a lot of what I talked about with Metcalf. They're like, okay, you want to send 3 guys at Tyreek Hill? We're sending Tyreek Hill all the way over there. Then all these guys are going to have one-on-one matchups. I mean, they're using – if you're going to give Tyreek Hill that kind of attention, they're taking him out of their plays, and then these other guys are getting one-on-one. It really helps, as we've seen, it really helps Tyreek Hill when Kelsey's right.
I was thinking the same thing,
right?
because they balance each other.
They balance each other. You see
outside.
the games that when Hill and Kelsey are playing, Hill still gets his. So without Kelsey, I mean, Hill's kind of hanging a little bit. So
Kelsey activated. CEH out, like we said.
Out.
So we're going with the regular guys there. On the other side,
Gore and Williams.
Based on the scores, these two teams, they could score 100 maybe. I don't think so. Cincinnati, how about it? What's his name? Ran all the routes finally, Joe Mixon. Yeah. He caught 6 balls for 70 yards.
Yeah, he finally used him in a high volume kind of guy.
One catching touchdown. Yep. And shook off that ankle injury, thank goodness for me.
He always hanging off an
right? And man, if somehow Cincinnati wins this game,
Haley. They're in the playoffs, right?
I think they're in right now.
They're in right now, but they could win the division, which is insane.
I love it. Get all those guys in.
Who did?
All the guys. Who aren't you? I mean, just not Ushuma. All right, Jacksonville. Yeah. Forget Jacksonville against New England. Just forget it.
Yeah, forget it.
Not Treadwell.
Don't get involved.
There was a part of the season.
That game could get ugly. That could be an ugly game.
There was a part of it earlier in the season where I had 4 Jacksonville guys on one roster. At that time, my team was awful.
Yeah.
And James Robinson was. We got our sleeper in this game. New England is Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
We like him. Hunter Henry again, stinker last week, but again, Buffalo Bills. They don't give up anything. So Hunter Henry's your guy there, and Damien Harris, Monstar. Ramondre Stevenson, he was a COVID, I think.
Yeah, and he had a COVID and he was banged up too.
I don't know about him. So you don't want
I don't. You're not playing him. I mean, it's Damien Harris is kind of ball to lose right now.
I agree there.
He's running hard. He's playing well.
Miami
keep that up against Jackson.
Miami at Tennessee. Duke Johnson gets the start, and really, I don't know if he outplayed him,
but
he was out there.
So they got the Duke. Then they made Myles Gaskin some sort of third down back. I mean,
remember in the beginning of the season, we thought that guy was going to be good.
Oh my God!
I drafted him.
It's awful. Well, he had a little.
Yeah,
Myles Gaskin had a little run there from week 3-4 to like 6, 7, 8. He had a little run there, and then.
And honestly, we looked at the beginning. He always got to 10. Remember, he was like 10.2, 10.5. He was a number 3, but never like a 2 or anything. I mean, they're
just interchanging the running backs. There's no high volume
What do you think Devontae Parker? I want Devontae Parker bitching up a storm this week.
I
Get
want
mad.
the damn
Come
ball.
on.
Where's the
I
damn
just-
ball?
Not one. Some tight end I never heard of had 2 catches on the first drive.
I've watched way too much Miami football. All right, the
They're coming.
Dolphins
They're coming.
football. I know they're playing well, but it's still boring to watch. They rotate in like 4 tight ends. They'll run 2 tight end sets all the goddamn time, and then they'll throw out of the tight end sets. I don't know why they love all their tight ends. I don't understand it, but I think you learned last week. What'd you learn? When Waddle's healthy,
He's
him
the man.
and Tua are going to be that at least 10 target type situation. And Parker, the problem with Parker is what? After the season, he'll probably be gone. It won't be on the team anymore. So, I mean, why should you feature him?
I got you.
So,
My bad. Tennessee side of the ball. A.J. Brown did show up and finish the
he
game.
played really well.
Yeah. Thank God I didn't face him.
He beat up the
Yeah.
49ers. He
was-
played
after a real quiet first
in one of
quarter.
his best games of his career. Yeah.
He didn't even show up to like midway through the second, and then it was his whole.
I picked Tennessee to win this game. I'm kind of in a dogfight with the boys. We pick all the games straight up. Every game, every week, we're like within a couple games of each other. So everybody was taking Frisco, and I'm like, I like Tennessee. So I picked Tennessee, and I'm watching that first half. I'm like, oh my God, this is driving me nuts. And then A.J. Brown pulled my bacon out of the fire. But no, he played probably one of his best games of his career. He really dominated the 49ers. They could not stop him.
Anybody else there? We're talking about
Tennessee?
Dante Freeman. Probably not against Miami.
Miami a little sneaky D.
The second lowest over under at 40.
They've been playing some D.
I'm sorry.
They'll get after the quarterback. I know they were playing the rookie quarterback with the Saints, but they had 8 sacks. They will get 5-6 sacks a game. I think they will chase around little Tannehill. I don't think Tennessee solved all their problems. They never really whooped the 49ers' ass. They won the game, but I think Miami's defense is a little sneaky.
Miami or Philly? D.
I like Philly. I like Philly against Washington. Washington's just been struggling.
They're up next.
Yeah.
Philadelphia,
Yeah.
-3 on the road at Washington.
Yeah,
McLaren is on a wall somewhere, postered.
it's not his fault.
It's not. I still think he's great, but that's just a bad team.
The problem with McLaren is what?
QB.
He's wasted.
No QB.
He's wasted like the first 3 years of his career. And his
How many different stars do you think he's faced?
I mean,
seriously,
right?
10?
Wayne Haskins, remember him?
Yeah.
I mean, then we had Ryan Fitzpatrick running around.
Then we had Kyle Allen playing.
Kyle Allen. Now we got I mean, McLaren's just a waste of talent. He's a waste of talent. I think it's third year, right? Or second or third year. The poor man. I feel sorry.
So we're only going Gibson there, probably. I'm gonna again McLaren at your own risk.
McLaren at your own risk. I mean, their passing game's just falling off the planet. So
Houston at San Fran's up next. The first 4:00 game on the board for us.
Yes.
We don't. Cook's back, but he's COVID, right? Was he COVID?
He was COVID, but they say he's back.
Yeah, but like you said,
what does that mean?
You never know.
Volume-wise, you don't know.
I like of Collins and Cook and Conley. I like Collins better, of course. So if you have to do that, do it. San Fran, it's the Trey Lancer. If Mitchell plays, are you playing him?
Another tough call because
he's been limited for like 2 weeks.
Been limited for weeks. I mean, I think if you saw like a full practice and a kind of a thumbs up from Kyle Shanahan, like we don't have any restrictions, yes. But if you start hearing limited game time decision, we might have to work him in if he plays. Never a high, Then you gotta be a little wary. This is it.
I
don't have time for this.
I have him and Jeff Wilson in the league, and I really would just like
one guy.
Just tell me he's out.
Path, right?
Tell me Mitchell's out. I'll just play Jefferson.
That's when you want the clear path, and NFL will never give you a clear path.
They won't.
You'll be like, ugh. But yeah, I'd wait for that kind of Kyle Shanahan stamp on him. before I'd put him in my lineup.
It's Houston, so San Fran, go for it, baby. Everybody in. Even Ayuk if you have to.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you if you have to.
You're definitely going to play him, yeah.
This is one of those games.
Yep.
Even though, I mean.
Houston playing a little tougher.
They have. They showed up.
They showed up last week. It's going to be a little tougher matchup against Frisco. Frisco been kind of rolling. I mean, they had a bad game last week, but I think we didn't realize how bad Garoppolo got hurt.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play well as the game went on, and then you realize the man had
got a broken hand,
thumb and a torn ligament. And if you watch the play when he did it, just threw and his thumb went, ow. It just, ugh. So you kind of understand how they struggled. I mean, you would have thought they would have recognized that Garoppolo was hurt, but, who am I to say? They said in practice Trey Lanez has been playing much better.
Right.
And he's been kind of tearing up the defenses a little bit in practice. He's been running around. He's got a better grasp than he did. There was a time when they were talking him up, like when he started, right, and then he got hurt, and Garoppolo played. Then they said, well, in practice, Trey Lanez still hasn't been playing well. Kind of downplaying the fact that he's not going to come in for Garoppolo.
And they need him now, though, so still, too.
They
need him.
But even before Garoppolo got hurt, they were starting to talk him back up and say in practice he's been Bosa or somebody said, man, the guy's been running around killing us in practice. So I think Trey Lanez, you're going to see a better Trey Lanez this time around, and you would expect that. He's had more time to kind of grasp things and get his arms around the offense early in the season. It's hard for a rookie quarterback. So.
All right, here we go. Here's where close your eyes and just put them in, baby. It's Denver at the Chargers. I didn't look it up to check it. Did I see that right, that the Denver Broncos had 8 yards rushing between Melvin Gordon and that was it, 8 yards?
I don't know.
And at least Williams went in.
And what did I tell you about Drew Lock? I said last week,
he's horrible.
I took Vegas for the simple fact that I will never bet on Drew Lock.
He's so bad.
He is bad quarterback.
Bad.
Throws bad
but
balls.
Are you with him? Are you with the RBs against this terrible Chargers rushing defense?
You got to play the Gordon Williams. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out where you're going to attack the Chargers.
Here's what
the ground.
Here's what I have a choice of.
Oh,
Javonte Williams or Justin Jackson if he starts. I had the same.
Once again, you got the Eckler coming back.
Maybe he's not 100%.
Not 100% to come back, and if he does, wait for the, we got to work him back. Blah 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 blah. I mean, right now, if Eckler didn't play, of course you play Justin Jackson. If Eckler plays, I don't know. I might go with Williams against that Charger D.
Right. Sure. On the other side, again, we got the Chargers. Herbert coming off a real stink bomb. Denver's stock D still.
I mean, the newer guy, he throws for 300 yards and a touchdown, and everybody throws for 336 and a touchdown. It's a bad game.
2 picks. Don't forget the 2 picks. Both of them one scoring zone.
I'll give you the 2 picks. One pick was bad. The other pick, he kind of tried to lead the receiver towards the red zone, and then it was just one of those things. I'm always going to defend my guy Herbert.
I love him, but again, I mean, that was
not the greatest game in the world last week. I mean, no doubt about it.
But you just wait. Guess who ESPN had as number 1 QB last week? You know it, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
The consensus had Herbert number 1. Did he get the 10? Wait, yeah, he got the late touchdown.
He got the 336.
Points. Oh yeah.
2 picks. But I mean, it was
2 picks erases.
It was a decent fantasy game, but a bad real game. I mean, he did not play well.
If he got one more touchdown, we wouldn't be saying.
This week is a little tougher. Like you said, they got Denver's D. Denver D a little tougher against the pass. You got Surtain probably shadowing Keenan Allen, so you probably work the other guys, and that I kind of hope Eckler doesn't play.
I do. I'm facing him. I have JJ in 2, and I would be facing Eckler if he does play. So I'm okay with it too.
I love putting Justin Jackson in with no Eckler in my way.
How about the wideouts, baby? We like Josh Palmer, and he's going to be in there. Guyton's the deep guy. So we like Palmer as a sleeper in that game.
Mike Williams out, definitely, and Allen being shadowed by the Surtain's son.
All right, here's the next game. This is why I don't look at a lot of times I don't look at my defense like players I'm going against at least early on.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a heart attack to watch the game, and thank goodness I didn't watch because I faced Chase freaking Edmonds last week. 26 points. James Conner not practicing. It's like, how convenient for them. As soon as Chase Edmonds got healthy, Conner got hurt. Is that a little convenient? It feels a little convenient.
Yeah. I mean, he got banged up. He's got a bad heel. They still don't know if he's going to play this week. I mean, Arizona's limping into the playoffs. I mean, Chase Edmonds, he's got no competition for touches. But Connor not around. I mean, that's the point.
Right, and he caught some passes as always.
And he caught some passes. They were down.
We don't like the wide receiver crew that's left. A.J. Green had 4 points fantasy-wise, I think.
Guys, kind of saved his bacon with 4 catches in the fourth quarter. He had like 1 or 2 going into it. Ertz. It wasn't a good game by Arizona. They did not stretch the field. They didn't have any big splash plays. Ertz and Kirk and they were just, 6 for 58 or whatever. It's just,
right.
Kyler Murray, I mean.
I told you, baby.
I mean,
He's slumping.
And, well, you said the Kyler Murray kind of limped to the finish line. And then they were talking about Cliff Kingsbury, the coach of Arizona. And even in college, all of his college stops, his pro stops, his teams do well. And then the last 2, 3, 4 games of the year, they always fall off. Even in college.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, the trend there. And, Arizona might be a one and done in the playoffs.
I think this number's way too high. It was 52 earlier today. I printed out 51.5, so it is going the way I would rather it not go based on my betting in a moment. Yeah. But we like all the Dallas guys, even Pollard if you have to. Schultz been on fire, back-to-back 20 balls. Took a big knock there at the end of the first half. I thought he was done for the game. In my games, when things like this happen with my guy, like Dak gets 4 touchdowns in the first half, you just you look at it and you go, he is going to get you 0. Don't even start. Don't get excited for like 2 more. It's just not going to happen. There's no way they're going to throw the ball anymore when you're up 56-7. So he threw like 2 more passes. Yeah. Schultz was 1. Then they put the backup in. We love Schultz. We love. It was a Cooper week last week. Maybe it's a CeeDee Lamb week this week. CeeDee Lamb does make some plays and some catches that are pretty like. It's like it's like he's catching a freight train. He can catch it anywhere.
CeeDee Lamb's a talent.
He's gonna be something big if he can keep his head on straight.
Yeah.
And I gotta throw Dak out again. Again, this is the highest over under the week. You gotta play him. What are you gonna do?
You play Dak all the way.
He's been in a struggle. Detroit at Seattle. What was the stat? Who was I can't remember the. Oh, was it Chase? It might have been Jamar Chase. They are the Amon St. Brown and Jamar Chase. It might have. No, Waddle. St. Brown and Jalen Waddle are the second and third rookie wide receivers in NFL history to have 4 straight games with 8 receptions. Who's number 1?
Well, probably Moss or
Odell.
Believe it
or not, Odell Beckham.
Wow.
Again, that was his
giant.
That was his big year. And he gave up.
Eli Manning was running around.
Right on. So we like St. Brown's all world. You got to get him in.
Goff should be back.
Yeah, no tight end.
Swift, they said, might probably practice.
I hope I can face Swift. So, I hope.
They said Swift might play. You got Brown. You got Goff playing.
Jamal Williams not a very good game, so we'll see.
That a dude we overrated a little bit. I think going into the draft, thought he would be this. Finally have this fresh legs coming out of Green Bay, and he
started out great. They were both doing it. It was all 3 of him and T.J. Hawkinson started out gangbusters for about a month.
I would call Williams a disappointment for the year.
How about a team as bad as Seattle? And I mean, I think they look like a horrendous team.
Oh my God!
7-point favorites. I don't care. I mean, maybe I already picked one of yours. Did you got Detroit plus 7?
What do you think?
It sounds like an obvious play now that I look at it.
Yep, I got Detroit plus 7. At Seattle.
Why do I come up with the discoveries during the show instead of before?
Seattle is bad.
They're bad. Rashard Penny.
Their defense bad.
I don't know what you're doing with that team. Any DK
playing out the string.
No DK owners are watching this. Maybe a Lockett. But Rashard, you got to play Rashard Penny against Detroit, I guess.
Yeah, you're playing you're playing Penny against Detroit.
Russell Wilson.
I mean, Penny's been running hard. I mean, he's looked good.
Russell Wilson.
Would I play Russell Wilson?
Against it, like you're
Is
going.
this a one quarterback league or two?
One.
I would think you have a better option.
40.
I mean, you can't. When's the last time you had a 300-yard game and 2 or 3 touchdowns?
Well, 42.5 over under there.
mean,
I can't believe they're 7-point favorites. I'm going to mark that down as a
That is ridiculous.
revelation. And Detroit plays hard, baby. They play hard.
They've
There's
been
no doubt
playing
about it.
hard. They just find ways to lose.
All right, Carolina up next. We're watching that team. Abdullah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going DJ Moore. I'm not going Robbie Anderson. That team's a wash.
That team's washed out.
This is the
Bad quarterbacking equals bad fantasy.
This is the second lowest over-under at 38. They don't get much. I bet an over-under under 36 once and won it. At Baltimore's days when they were badass. They were really good defense. Yeah, I remember even though they played the Giants, and I had a poker party at my house. How about New Orleans? Callaway definitely looks like a talent, but once again, man, there's nobody to throw in the ball.
Yeah.
It's going to be Taysom Hill. He's due back from COVID. He might be weak.
Yeah.
I don't know there. Kamara had 52 yards.
They played a bad game.
They're bad.
That was a bad game. They're playing out the string. They're not going to make the playoffs now. That's another thing you got to kind of look at.
Yeah.
Some of these teams are out of the playoffs now. Saints blew it. They're out. Like a team like Cleveland's probably out. You know, you're playing out the string. I mean, the Saints. I don't know.
I hear you. All right, let's move
they
on.
said Sean Payton ain't gonna be around.
2 more games left.
He's out for COVID too. No coach.
The late game I really want to watch because I like both teams. I like watching both teams. My friend Brian is a big Vikings fan. That's the only stadium I've ever been other than Soldier Field. We went back in the day. The problem was he was supposed to hello Panda. He was supposed to take his girlfriend and they broke up. So then I ended up being his girlfriend.
How nice.
It was nice. We had a great time, but man, the Vikings are again. You know who the guys are? Conklin has Tyler Conklin has absolutely been quiet for the past month or so. But we got you got the monsters there. We like KJ Osborne as our sleeper there.
Yep.
I wasn't sold on Matson. I was not sold on Matson having a big game last week.
We said it last week. This dude always has these opportunities, and he's supposed to be this
He's
fabulous backup.
It's 50-50.
It's a 50-50.
It's not every. Like you said, well, he's a plug. He's a perfect plug.
Or plug in RB1. No, he's not.
He had like 40 yards and 30 yards passing.
No.
Nothing
but I mean, Cook got limited practice and he might play. So.
Right on. And Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is probably a good play this week because Cousins will do something crazy over there.
He'll do something dumb. He has not been playing well. I mean, if you look at the Ram game and then the Pittsburgh game.
They ran out. They should have boat raced Pittsburgh. Oh my gosh, way out.
The last 2 weeks, Kirk Cousins has not played well. He's not played quarterback well. So is he going to go up to Green Bay and play well? Probably doubtful.
How about on Green Bay side? We like MVS if he goes. Lazard can still, without Randall Cobb, he could still get his 6 catches and a touchdown. Again, this could be shootout. They could support 3 wideouts here.
Yes.
One tight end went to the Mercedes Lewis to the COVID, so that the guy that Robert likes, the Babalabalo or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's
good old number 81.
He's their own tight end.
He's the only tight end.
I don't know if you want him. And I like Green Bay's defense this week. What about this Monday night stunner? It's Baker Mayfield against Big Ben.
Oh,
Yawn.
Pittsburgh got their ass whooped.
They're just done. Claypool is done. It's Deontay Johnson and nobody else. That's it. No, there's nobody. I don't want Najee Harris in there. He stinks.
This could be like a 10-3 game.
It's 41. That's or 41 over under. And Cleveland, it's Nick Chubb and maybe Hooper.
Yeah.
Who else? Nobody.
Maybe Landry if you.
Landry.
Desperate in the flex PPR, but
I
wouldn't get too excited.
We certainly
been play Mayfield.
Begging for Donnie Peeps Jones to finally show some consistency.
Yeah, well,
but who was it? It was freaking Schwartz again.
Problem is, Mayfield. He's just not playing well. He's banged up. I understand he's banged up, but offensively, Cleveland's not too dynamic. So
Right on. Hey, well, good luck on all those plays. If you ever have any questions, post it. We'll answer it. Let's get to our wagers. Last week, 0-3 for me, and none of them were close. None of them were close. The over-under was, I bet the over went way under. I had the Chargers -7. They lost by 20. And I had, God, who else did I have? I can't even remember. Never mind. Carolina, plus 10.
Carolina plus 10.
And they never showed up. Again, and the Carolina was based on a nice article that I read, just like the Atlanta one. So, all right, I got you. But thank goodness for Robert, we went 2-4. And we are on this 50, 45-1 this season. Consolation prize for me this year, Robert. I keep these stats cumulatively. So, I'm a winner, baby. Thank you. Seriously, I mean, there's no chance that Robert isn't like head and shoulders above me on this. Maybe you have more time to look at this part while I'm worried about waivers, but you have been rocking it like a 3-0 2 weeks ago. Always pretty much 2-1. I think you were really
I knew Iron Book was going to play.
You were miffed at yourself that you went 0-3 just 1 week.
Yeah, that 0-3
only
really
1 week, and I carried us once. Not really. Right, here we go.
Who you like, Ron?
I like what Robert's picks are. I'm joking. This is my week. I've usually been taking some points lately. I think Baltimore is in absolute disarray. I'll even give the hook. I'm going to take the Rams on the road -3.5. I'm going to ride the team that Robert, if you remember, earlier in the season, there was a team I took like 5 weeks in a row when they won. Then you started taking them, and then they started not covering. But they put up 56 last week. I think they can get out. I think, again, I'm going against Kyler Murray as much as anything else. I think with defense and offense, Dallas is going to win at home by the 5.5. And I also think the defense, unless they score 2 touchdowns, which if they do, I'm okay losing this bet because I will roll in one of my fantasy leagues. I will go with like they say on DraftKings, the same game parlay, and we'll take Dallas and Zona under 52. It's already down to 51.5. Bet it now if you want to. Take it away.
All right.
Well, you notice how we somehow we time it right on every week.
I
don't know how we do it either.
We must have an internal clock.
We do. We just know how this show works, man.
I like New England giving 15.5 at home. I think they blow out Jacksonville. I think they
almost put that.
I think they could beat them by 25 or 30. I don't think Jacksonville does much. I think New England wants a little of a kind of a comeback game, and after last week's bad taste with Buffalo.
I like the bounce back game.
And you got to remember, they lost to the Colts the week before, and then they lost to Buffalo. You think Belichick's going to be playing around with Jacksonville? The answer is no, especially with the playoffs around the corner and New England still in the mix, obviously, for the playoffs. So I like them blowing out poor Trevor Lawrence, who's
wow, what a way! I mean,
stuck in a bad rookie season.
What do you think he thinks? Do you think that maybe he isn't the guy? Because remember, we talked about the wideouts he had. Ridiculous, right? I mean, you could roll the ball that they would catch it. I feel bad for him.
The problem is,
stop being in commercials, baby.
We've gotten spoiled with the rookie quarterbacks. The rookie quarterbacks are supposed to struggle.
Okay,
he didn't have a coach developing him. They need
all.
to get somebody in there to develop him and work with him and I'm not going to pass judgment. Most times with draft picks and quarterbacks, especially till year 2 or 3, you can't pass judgment. I mean, obviously you got some talent, but it's being wasted and with bad coaching. And it gets back to coaching. Coaching is a big deal. You got to have somebody calling the plays and teaching you how to play quarterback, especially in the NFL. Anyway, so I like New England. They're going to whoop Jacksonville. I like Philly giving 3 against Washington. I think they beat up on Washington. I don't know why that spread's so low. And then I like Detroit getting 7 against Seattle. Seattle should not be giving any team 7.
I agree. We just came up with that all on our own.
Boo.
Right on. All right, before we go, we got 30 seconds. Let's thank some folks here real quick. I'd like to thank, of course, My dear wife for helping me set up some of the
Temple.
computer stuff. Temple is a superstar.
Our producer.
I want to thank Robert's wife, Tricia, for allowing Robert to come and spend all this great time with me. I mean, it's 21 shows.
21 shows.
that's
Almost
like
half
a year. It's almost every week we're here for you.
Yes.
Where we're not going on vacations, where we're not having sick time, where we are giving up, rest part of our life to come here and do something we really love that hopefully leads to something more meaningful. That's always the goal in life anyway. But I want to thank Dave, one of our best fans, Barry. Who's some of your guys that watch? Bob, was it?
Mike, Bill.
Bill. Bill's
man,
commented.
Bill.
Yeah.
Arkansas Bill. Mark and Mike. Mike, who got COVID. Get well soon. My guy.
And, of course, our producer,
Tracy.
somehow, Chuck Pullen, that somehow pulls rabbit out of the hat almost every time. He is
He's had to run over here a couple times.
and somehow, dude, he lives in St. John, and somehow he's like 3 blocks away, right? I mean, it's
He's a
more than
spider
one.
sense when we're in trouble.
I don't know. He's an amazing man, and I know a lot of really smart guys, but he's fun to talk to. He's extremely dry and funny, and brilliant man with all this great stuff. Thanks for supporting Ron Harlow Media. Thanks to Robert Kebs-Keeler and Tricia, of course, every week being a part of us. And
always promoting the show.
yes,
always
thank
out
you.
there beating the drum.
And everybody I mentioned does the exact same thing. So, all right, this is season 3 in the books. Don't make me cry. Go out and win yourself a championship. I know
Win
we're
the
gonna.
championship.
We are going.
Win.
All right, here's our song, and we want to thank Stern Approval, who are the orators and creators of this particular song. Find a way, because we're going to find a way to win, baby. Find your way. Thanks, folks. Take care. Thank you, Robert. Bye-bye.